In the land of Oz, the citizens of Munchkinland celebrate the death of the Wicked Witch of the West. They sing and cheer, believing they've been freed from her tyranny. Overlooking the celebrations is Glinda the Good, who listens quietly to their joy. But as she stands there, she reflects on the truth, the story of the so-called Wicked Witch, whose life was far more complicated than anyone knew. It all began long ago, when a baby girl named Elphaba was born to a mother who had been unfaithful to her husband. As a result, the child was born green, her skin a bright, unnatural emerald. Her father, humiliated by her appearance, resented her deeply, focusing his attention instead on her younger sister Nessarose, who was born with a disability and required a wheelchair. Despite her father's disdain, Elphaba loved and cared for Nessarose, determined to protect her. When the time came, both sisters were sent to study at Shiz University, where Elphaba's green skin and unusual demeanor made her an instant target for ridicule. At Shiz, Elphaba's extraordinary magical talents caught the attention of Madame Morrible, the headmistress, who believed Elphaba could one day work closely with the wonderful Wizard of Oz himself. Elphaba saw this as an opportunity to do good in the world, to make up for her strange appearance by helping others. It was also at Shiz that Elphaba met Galinda, a popular and privileged girl who immediately clashed with her. The two could not have been more different. Galinda was vain and concerned with appearances, while Elphaba was sharp, independent, and uninterested in fitting in. Their rivalry seemed destined to define their time at school, but over time an unlikely bond began to form. Galinda helped Elphaba to see herself in a new light, even giving her a makeover and shortening her own name to Glinda to match her friend's quirkiness. Slowly but surely, the two became inseparable friends. But their friendship was tested when Elphaba's dream of meeting the wizard finally came true. She and Glinda traveled together to the Emerald City, marveling at its splendor. The wizard, a charismatic and seemingly kind leader, welcomed them warmly. Elphaba, eager to prove herself, demonstrated her magical abilities in hopes of using them to help others, especially the animals of Oz, who were being oppressed and silenced. However, Elphaba soon discovered that the wizard was not the benevolent ruler she had imagined. He was behind the cruel treatment of the animals and wanted to use Elphaba's powers for his own gain. When she refused, he revealed his darker side, branding her as a dangerous outcast. Heartbroken and betrayed, Elphaba realized she could no longer trust anyone in power. Meanwhile, Glinda faced her own choice. The wizard offered her the chance to step into the spotlight, to become the beloved Glinda the Good, a symbol of hope for the people of Oz. Torn between loyalty to Elphaba and her own ambitions, Glinda chose the latter, leaving her friend to face the consequences alone. Elphaba fled from the Emerald City, now hunted and labeled as wicked by the wizard's propaganda. Alone and determined to fight for what she believed in, she began to embrace her new identity. The turning point came when she was cornered by guards who sought to capture her. Rather than surrender, Elphaba unleashed the full extent of her power, casting a spell that allowed her to fly. She rose high into the air, defying not only the wizard but also the expectations of everyone who had ever doubted her. Glinda watched from below as Elphaba ascended, knowing that their friendship had forever changed. Elphaba was now the Wicked Witch of the West in the eyes of the world, while Glinda had secured her place as the Good Witch. Yet deep down, Glinda knew the truth, that Elphaba was not wicked, but a woman who dared to challenge the forces of injustice. And so, the two women who had once been friends took their places on opposite sides of history, their lives forever intertwined. The world would remember one as good and the other as evil, but the truth was never so simple. This was the story of Elphaba, the girl who defied gravity and dared to be different no matter the cost. The main theme of Wicked 2024 revolves around the duality of good and evil, emphasizing how perception shapes morality and truth. The movie challenges the traditional narrative of heroes and villains by exploring the complex backstory of Elphaba, the so-called Wicked Witch of the West, showing that she was not inherently evil but misunderstood and vilified for defying injustice. It also highlights themes of friendship, acceptance, and identity, focusing on the unlikely bond between Elphaba and Glinda and how their choices ultimately lead them down diverging paths. The story explores how societal expectations and personal ambition can fracture relationships and how standing up for one's beliefs often comes at great personal cost. At its heart, Wicked teaches audiences that the world is not black and white, and the lines between good and wicked are often blurred. It urges us to question what we've been told and to consider the humanity behind every story.